Hey guys, it's me Iceberg, and today we're gonna check the new Arisyn Huo Shu for around $50 with a single DD driver. Arisyn is a new brand, at least to me, that used to make cables and now made the first step into the IM world. So without further ado, let's get into it. Anyway, the Huo Shu comes in a box with a Chinese look and some lanterns on the front. And inside we have the shells themselves, 2-pin cable with a 4.4mm plug in my case, which you can purchase separately for about $40. And yeah, it looks and feels more solid than it actually is. To the touch it feels soft and flexible, with a pleasant pitchy thing, without any tangling or microphone effect. Next we have a set of standard size silicone ear tips with a medium bore, followed by a pretty Arisyn pouch, and the card that repeats the box design. So these are small and thin resin shells with a beautiful padauk wood insert, which in reality has a more deep dark red tint than the picture shows. On the inner side we see a long and fairly wide metal nozzle with a single vent, and on the side channel markings and a 2-pin socket. When it comes to the fit, these shells feel quite comfy and secure inside, don't stick out of my ears, and are almost weightless, so we can wear them all day long and even sleep in them, if you wanna of course. The only ones who might have problems with the fit are those with the narrow ear canals, because they might just not get in there. Okay guys, the sound in the Huo Shu is delivered by a 10mm dynamic driver with a LCP diaphragm, and it actually tuned a bit differently than you might expect from the typical single dynamic driver. In general we don't get the Harman-ish or bass head sound, nor even the completely neutral we are used to listen to. I would say it's mild U-shaped presentation with even and clean bass, a smooth mid-range with a natural rise to the upper mids, and a pretty smooth treble with a peak at 8k Hz for clarity. And you know, when I first saw the graph, I was kinda disappointed, because I thought it would be just a flat, boring picture. But lol, it's not like that, or rather, just listen. So I put them in my ears, turned on something bass head, listened to a few minutes and thought, what the heck, is there really no bass in these? So I got upset and left them to burn in a bit. And the next day, you know, they sound completely different. I turned on the same track, I don't remember exactly which one, I think it was Pump It. Yeah, I love when everything pumps, vibrates and explodes. And you know, I heard that rich, textured bass. Yeah guys, this is by no means bass head vibe, it's more like a foundation or cushion underneath, so the other sound can chill out. And you know another thing, I really like the vocals in here. These are definitely mid-centric IEMs, and if you love getting lost in the something vocal-centric, then you're really gonna enjoy these. Overall, I would say the sound is warmer and more analog, nor in the sense of being dark or muddy, but in terms of texture. The sound here is softer and more coherent than in most, but without the distinctive digital sharpness sometimes found in some single DD models. And I think the way they sound is exactly what makes them so enjoyable for long term. These are not IEMs for audio testing or nitpicky analysis, but simply IEMs for listening to music without any hassle. Regarding the bass, I wanna be completely honest with you. So if you're a bass head, allow it when everything kicks from the bottom, you should skip this part or these IEMs in general, because they simply aren't for you. Sure, the bass is there, but it's more like a mildly boosted, quality, controlled bass that fits perfectly into the overall sound, with a sub bass that goes down but not too deep, and the mid bass that punchy, impactful and energetic. But you know, it's there to add a bit of depth to, for example drums, bass guitar or synth in EDM, rather than to fill the entire space. And this will work for people who appreciate the bass quality over its quantity. Moving on to the mid-range, I like how it comes forward and integrates seamlessly into the sound space. I mean, Arisyn has made the lower mids here full enough, so male vocals sound rich, articulate, with a hint of hoarseness, and that velvety texture that I especially love in the vocals of Frank Sinatra or Leonard Cohen. And these come across quite naturally and closely without any artificiality. And the upper mids here are raised enough to bring the vocals and instruments to the forefront, but without excess. And yeah, it's equally pleasant to listen to female and male vocals here because they sound articulate, lively, emotional and present, but without being intrusive or sibilant. I really love listening to calm jazz, blues, classic rock or folk in here, if you're into Hawaiian vibe. I mean seriously, I got goosebumps just listening to the vocals. Speaking of the treble, it's not so bright or aggressive, but rather a comfy, airy treble with a soft, analog vibe. In terms of overall tone, I would say it's neutral and smooth with a slight boost in the lower treble, which adds a little sparkle to the vocals without becoming shutty or harsh, while the upper treble extends to 12 kHz here but isn't hyper-emphasized, with good air and sparkle that adds openness and space, but without any artificial shine. And this is precisely how it feels. The treble here is sparkling and breathing, adding the right amount of liveliness and openness, yet remaining natural and never tiring. Well, the soundstage here, of course, is not huge like in hybrids or planars, but instead, it's more focused and musical. You know, every time I listen to something bass heavy, I always felt like there wasn't enough space for the bass to resonate and fill the entire stage, and that's the key point here. Exactly because of the modest bass, the soundstage feels like it has average width and depth like a soap bubble, where the vocals are placed in the middle and close enough, the instruments in the backgrounds, and the rest of the sounds around the edges. Regarding the separation and imaging, I would say that in calm sounds, everything is handled very well here and the sounds come through seamlessly, but once the tracks gets more intense, a slight incoherence immediately appears. Okay, let's make a few comparisons, starting with the Kefine Klean with a single DD driver for around the same $50. These are metal shells IEMs with replaceable nozzles, and I once called them almost perfect in every way. And in 2026, I'm not changing my mind. But if you make a closer comparison, I would say that the Huo Shu is more musical, more mid-centric and less spicy in the treble. And in everything else, I love the Klean more. It's bassier, more technical, more polished, and it's like a mini sim god, if you know what I mean. Comparing them to the Hidizs MK10, which is single DD for about $69 with the same metal shells and the tuning nozzles. Here we get a more aggressive V-shaped presentation, so the bass feels more powerful with a stronger slam, and the treble can be brighter and even sharp with the silver nozzles. Meanwhile, the Huo Shu offers a neutral U-shaped presentation with less energetic bass and treble, but that's exactly what makes them more enjoyable for long sessions. I mean, for the less money, I would go with the Huo Shu because they win in terms of fatigue-free sound. But if price isn't problem and you need more drive, then of course the arc reactor will be more attractive option. And finally, let's compare them to the Dunu Titan X, which I'll be reviewing in my next video. So this is the single DD model, priced at around $32, that promised to conquer the market. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Well, I'll be brief here. If you're a fan of vocal-centric genres, go ahead and get Huo Shu. I simply love their focused vocals. But if your budget is limited, or you need more fun, bass-centric sound, then the Titan X might be worth checking out. Anyway, stay tuned for my full review of this Titan X, cause it's gonna be super exciting. Guys, in conclusion, I was expecting a completely different debut from the Huo Shu, like you know how it usually happens. The brand's first model with reference neutrality, or in contrast, a 12 dB bass boost for the bass heads. But Arisyn decided to go in completely different way, and that's probably the most interesting thing. Here we immediately get a warm, analog sound signature with emphasis on the mids and musicality rather than the analytical and micro details. And this will find its target audience. I mean, the Huo Shu is IM for those who just love listening to music without any hustle. Sure, they sound like a cliché, but actually it's a rare thing these days. So I give this a 7.5 out of 10, and yeah, it's a solid release, but the brand has way more potential. It's not always perfect, not always versatile, and the sound isn't always super smooth. And I would recommend the Huo Shu to those who are new to the hi-fi world or to the fans of warm, mid-centric sound, especially vocals. Yeah, you're gonna love these. And the main question is what comes next. If they take the same musical and analog approach, but improve the resolution, then the next release could be very interesting. I'll be keeping an eye on it, and you should too. Many thanks to the Arisyn for providing the sample, and to you guys for watching it. If you enjoyed this review, hit the like button and subscribe, I really appreciate that. Stay tuned for the Titan X review, take care, this was Iceberg, see you later, bye.